friend, Representative Byron Donalds, Republican from Florida, House Budget Committee, House Oversight and Reform Committee, House Small Business Committee, and all-around good guy. We're glad to have him on set. Representative, thanks for being here.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You know, it wasn't foreign policy necessarily that got you into this business, but it's something that you're a part of the conversation as far as what America should be doing, what our responsibility is. You see these images unfolding. It looks like Vladimir Putin's moving there. What does it mean for us?
What it means for us is that I think, once again, we were late to the game. This is almost like Afghanistan redone, where some of the data elements have been there for several months, but where has the administration been? What has they done? And then the tough talk comes late. But by that point, things are already in motion. That looks like what's happening in Ukraine right now.
It's such a great point that they are always late to the game. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm a little confused here.
All right.
A little late to the game here. A lot of people saying, a lot of our guests today on the show saying that what happened in Afghanistan is a reason that we're in this situation.
No, listen, that's absolutely correct. Geopolitics is not so much about gravitas and all the people saying big words and giving long speeches. It is about showing strength against your competitors, against your adversaries. And one of the things that is crystal clear at this point is that Vladimir Putin and also Xi Jinping, they see weakness in the United States, and they're going to exploit it. Listen, I know we're probably going to end up talking about it. Kamala Harris went to Munich. Well, why is the vice president going? With all due respect to the vice president, in a matter of geopolitical crisis, the president of the United States must lead. But why is he not there?
So what does that mean, Congressman? We've had Piers Morgan on the show throughout the morning. We've talked to others about what America should do going forward. I think everybody here on the set agrees with you about how we've been reactive in the past. Say it were President Donalds today, or you're giving advice to President Biden. Get on your front foot, be proactive, lead. What does that mean today and into tomorrow?
Well, what it means right now is we have to be very serious about Nord Stream 2. That pipeline cannot go into existence at all. The other thing is we have to have serious conversations with the rest of our allies in NATO about what are the defensive military components they're going to need to make sure we stop a more aggressive Russia. The third part is we have to have serious conversations about how we're going to be supportive, not just of Taiwan, which is super critical to our economy, not with respect to global economics, but our economy specifically, and also with South Korea. We have to be on a much more assertive footing right now. Now is not the time for weak diplomacy in the face of adversaries who see weakness. We must be strong, and at the end of the day, everybody needs to understand we don't want to deploy our forces unless absolutely necessary. We don't want to put men and women into harm's way, but strength is what deters adversaries across the world, not weakness.
Speaking of weakness, you can take a look at our southern border and what's happening there. CBP has confirmed that twice as many migrants or illegals were encountered at the border in January 2022 as happened in January 2021. And when you consider the floodgate that was the immediacy of this new administration, those numbers are staggering.
Right.
How do you get your arms around that's part of the reason why so many of us sort of would normally not bat an eye the way we do it what's happening in Ukraine, but do because our southern border, our own sovereign border, is being invaded.
Well, I will tell you, we can't ignore the world, but we got to get serious at home. There is no reason why, well, there's only one reason why, that the southern border is completely wide open. It is because of the terrible policies of Joe Biden and the Democrats. Let's be very clear. When you couple that with the fact that what they've done is they've spread the problem all over the United States. They don't want to have the pictures of kids in cages, so they're putting kids on planes at night and sending them all over the United States. And these people, unfortunately, are being used as political pawns in the Democrats' game. Also, the drug cartels are making billions of dollars in the process. Listen, the Russians and the Chinese see this. If we're not going to be serious about our own border, why would we be serious about helping any of our allies? This is the reality of politics today. We can't play these crazy liberal Marxist games. We have to be serious about security in our nation, and that will lead to security around the globe.
Oh, God, I wish you were in charge. But you're right. Tough talk on Russia, but tough talk with Germany, too.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
All right.
Put into wonderful perspective this morning, Congressman Byron Donalds. Thanks for being with us here in Florida, your home state.
Absolutely.
You a big NASCAR fan?
I watch NASCAR.
Okay.
I have drinks when I watch NASCAR. I think like a lot of people here on the infield are going to do. But listen, man, it's great to be here in Daytona. It's going to be a great race as always.
Yes.
But listen, I love when people come to Florida. We're the best state in the union for a reason.
It's hard to refute these days. It's hard. Even the guy from
I'm
Texas
not-
is
I'm
shaking
gonna
his
let
head.
that one slide
Did you get that on
right
camera? His head was shaking in agreement. We love having you here. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
We're loving Florida.
We are.